Good morning to one and all. We welcome all of you all to the third National Virtual Moot Court Competition conducted by Thomas George and Associates. We are extremely delighted to have Honorable Justice Radhakrishnan sir along with us. I yield the floor to the Master of Ceremonies to start the process. Ria, you can start.
Yes, sir. Good morning, everyone. I cordially welcome you all to the third National Virtual Moot Court Competition conducted by Thomas George and Associates. My name is Ria Das, and I'm the intern at Thomas George and Associates and your Master of Ceremonies for today. Thomas George and Associates was founded by Mr. Thomas George in the year 1998. From its very inception, our firm has steadily expanded and diversified its field of practice and has progressed in a full-service law firm offering efficient legal services in various fields of law practices to our clients, both national and international. Our firm thrives to provide effective, efficient, and appropriate advice to solve all problems faced by our client by balancing the dynamics of their need and our legal expertise. Amidst the growing cases of COVID-19 in 2020, Thomas George and Associates had set out to do something unique and organize their first national virtual moot court competition. Today, we are proudly commencing the third edition of this competition owing to the huge success of the previous two editions. The theme of this year's competition is surrounding the constitutional validity of taxing cryptocurrency despite not granting any legal sanctions to cryptocurrency. The proposition is designed to stimulate the minds of the participants in regards to the contemporary and ever-evolving aspects of law. Now, I would like to call upon Mr. Thomas George, who is the founder and managing partner of Thomas George and Associates, for his welcoming speech. But before that, I would like to give a brief overview of his career so far. He has completed his graduation in law and post-graduation in marketing. Since the establishment of the firm, he has represented the firm in plethora of cases before the Honorable Supreme Court, various high courts, tribunals, district courts, quasi-judicial authorities, etc. He firmly believes in settling the matters at hand amicably and swiftly by the way of negotiation and mediation. Sir, please share a few words with us before we begin this event at auspicious note.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, one and all. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome our Honorable Chief Justice Thottathil Radhakrishnan Garu, who we had a very short stint of meeting on two occasions. From a very humble beginning, from the family of advocates, both father and mother of Justice Thottathil Radhakrishnan Garu was advocates, and under their guidance, and later on, he moved in to practice at the Honorable High Court of Kerala and was appointed Judge of the High Court of Kerala. From there was no looking back. His Lordship was elevated as the Chief Justice of Chhattisgarh and the Andhra Pradesh High Court. He has the unique distinction and name of being the first Chief Justice of Telangana High Court after the bifurcation. His Lordship was a very determined person in the delivery of justice to the poor. That is what I have been gathering from the profiles. From Telangana High Court, his Lordship was elevated as the Chief Justice of transferred and posted as the Chief Justice of Kolkata High Court. While in Hyderabad, his Lordship was the Chancellor of Nalsar Law University. And we have got other judges of the High Court of Telangana, Justice Surepalli Nanda and Justice M. Sudhir Kumar also as our judges. I wish to submit to you all that we have, I think I can be proud that Manav was the first person to conduct moot court, not moot court, virtual internship in the country. First, that I think I'm so happy and proud that Manav was able to do it. When the COVID pandemic came out, he was very upset that nothing is moving. So he came out with the idea of starting a intern virtual internship. That internship has started during the COVID-19 period, and now, as of today, Manav has to his credit that he has given internship to more than 300 interns. And we are proud to invite all of you to be participant of this third National Moot Court competition. I want to tell to the distinguished participants as well as the uh, chief guest here, that there was a time that career of law was not given much of a priority. And Law Commission has made several observations to that effect. Subsequently, a revolutionary change was brought in by Professor Madhav Menon by introducing the law school concept into our country. And with the introduction of law school and the introduction of so many other, that did not remove the charm of the other colleges. But now what I see and experience is that it is going a very long way in a very successful manner. And moot court has been seen very lightly in the earlier days, whereas now it is giving a space for all the young, talented students to have a first-hand experience of the court by this moot court competitions, participating in the moot court competitions. I wish to tell you one thing. Either you will win or gain experience. There is no failures. That is what the thing that you have to keep in mind. Either you will be winning or you will be experiencing. With these few words, I wish to thank one and all for participating actively in this. We have got about 35 judges in the panel. We have got 40 participants and 11 volunteers who are all our interns and who will be participating in the forthcoming moot court competitions. I wish all of you the best of luck, good wishes, and God bless you all.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. Now, I would like to welcome our chief guest, Honorable Justice Shri Radhakrishnan Garu, one of the brightest minds our legal system has ever produced. He started as an advocate in 1980, after which he was appointed as the permanent judge of Kerala High Court on October 2004. On March 2017, he was appointed as the Chief Justice of Chhattisgarh High Court. Thereafter, he was appointed as the Chief Justice of United States of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh in 2018. On 1st January 2019, he was appointed as the Chief Justice of Telangana High Court, and soon after, he was transferred as the Chief Justice of Calcutta High Court in April 2019, and retired on 28 April 2021. I welcome you to please address our participants with your experience insights before the competition begins.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, Your Lordship,
Yes.
you're audible. Good morning.
Good morning,
Your
one and all. Moot courts after moot courts, high courts after high courts, universities after universities. Well, I was trying to relax and searching for the proverbial armchair of a testator in testamentary jurisdiction when Justice Basant called me and said, why don't you please go for this program? I said it comes the very next day after the Supreme Court closes. Yesterday, we had a very, very tight schedule, particularly me joining in VC from Kochi, where I am with some other commitments as well. Well, it's very refreshing that I'm able to join you all today. Taking a leaf of what was spoken by Mr. Thomas George. See, the legal education system in India, it has, I think, undergone tumultuous changes with the interventions made by Professor Madhav Menon, a person who is a guru figure for me. Though I had not been his student in any university, but then whenever he and we or me are together in Trivandrum, where he also stays the next street, he always used to find time to share ideas with me. That was followed by Professor Mohan Gopal, who headed the National Law School, Bangalore, after Madhav Menon. And later on, Professor Mohan Gopal was the director of the National Judicial Academy, which I think is the think tank of the Indian judiciary, where the judiciary gets molded, provided, now I underscore, provided the minds are open. The issue is whether you keep your minds open. This is exactly what Mr. Thomas George indicated. Don't bother about failures. They are only stepping stones to your growth, your onward march to maturity. It's not winning a case or losing a case. It's not winning a competition or losing a competition. It is not winning the process of carrying your opinion forward and getting it accepted by others. You are changing the whole scenario by your intervention in a very modest, controlled, but highly intelligent and educated manner. If my travel through the zones of lawyering as a practicing lawyer from the trial court to the high court to the Supreme Court and back to the high court as a judge, and from there grazing through 4 high courts as chief justices, with 5 states and 2 union territories coming under my judicial control and command. I tell you, that has not, to be the blessings of my elders, brought any sort of feather on the throne of my ego, but maybe on the throne of my performance. We should be very sure that you don't carry anything onto your head in such a way that it doesn't find space to accommodate anything else. This is a prime principle that you need to carry with you. Be open to ideas. Be open to ideas. In the national platform of judicial modalities and judicial management, in the national platform of judicial education, legal education, I say judicial education and legal education. They are actually 2, sister courses. I had always argued in the national platforms on legal education that because we brought up a system called the National Law Schools, as Mr. Thomas George was indicating, that is not the last. We have the often criticized so-called mushrooms, but I think without any mushroom, the Chinese soup is not complete. Why I say this is, I've seen through the grassroots, not merely as a practitioner, by trying to push for the rights of those lawyers who are working at the grassroots, who goes to the magistrate's court to move a bail application, who goes to the ordinary POCSO court, who goes to an ordinary NDPS court. Is it the rich and the powerful lawyers from the metropolitans who drip down? Last 3 weeks, we were discussing in the national platform about the huge pendency of bails, huge pendency of applications for suspension of sentence pending appeals, huge pendency of matters, because whether it is a shortage of judges, whether it is a shortage of the administration, whether it is a shortage of the collegium, we have an issue that the ultimate loser is we, the people of India, as a collective lot. Because judicial management, if justice is not done, there's no point in keeping doctors in the hospital. What happens in the hospital is actually Article 21 of the Constitution. It is a system that has to evolve and go forward. I say all this because I found that you have a particular subject for your Moot, which is again something which is yet to open up in the international domain. One is legalizing something which nobody has really understood what it is now. You're trying to say whether a particular DNA composition results in a donkey or a monkey or an ass, right? I used to ask the law students in my college, because once in a year I used to go there. Nowadays, I don't get time for that. I asked them one particular question and I told them, some of you come back to me with a reply through email. Then if I'm satisfied, I'll come back to you. I asked them one question. In English language, there are two words. One is ass, one is donkey. I asked them, what is the difference between ass and donkey? My English professor with whom I discussed this, she told me, have you not stopped your old way of dealing with things? I said, this is how I keep myself alive. Because many people call you, you are a fool of an ass, right? But nobody calls you, you are a fool of a donkey. And ass is not expected to carry the load. Donkeys are expected to carry the load, right? I had always said that even in the judiciary, I expect at least 90 or 85% of donkeys being available to carry the load and push the day-to-day work. The rest 15% can be horses to be decorated and paraded during festivals. Well, I think I'd been able to get the confidence of the people of the two states of Andhra and Telangana when I was tasked to take over that common high court and finish off the so-called partition, where I also earned the nickname from Delhi as being a Mountbatten being sent, with the rider that please ensure no bloodshed. Because I think Mr. Thomas George and Manav knows better, the ground reality is there. Egos run so high. And there I learned one fundamental thing, that whatever we practiced in the courts as lawyers, practicing advocates, is something that should be practiced everywhere in daily life. That is, know everything that you have to say, but keep your mouth shut unless it is necessary to be opened. This, I think, is something that happens even in moots. I've been judging moots as a practicing lawyer. Then, of course, growing on to national level moot competition judging, etc., etc. One thing in lawyering is never be bothered to put across your point, but put it across with foundations which are subject of communication. Otherwise, it doesn't go through. You need to communicate. Even if it's a wrong idea, you need to communicate. The second is on the taxation. That's one aspect that you're going. Taxation, which obviously is also a pet subject that grew with me, both on the bar, at the bar and on the bench. Well, morning, I was just thinking for myself that there is an activity. If there is an activity in India, in public, it is open. You can have such activities. They are all illegal activities, right? Narcotic peddling is wrong in law. Narcotic possession is wrong in law in some circumstances. Narcotic consumption is also now trying to get itself into being classified as a wrong in crimes. What if you will try to tax the consumption of narcotics? I'm just thinking loud on a purely theoretical manner. See, there are classified activities which are not conducive to common good, like commercial prostitution, organized assault on such institutions. What happens if these are all treated as activities liable to be taxed? I had a very, very, very strong, loud thinking youngster, much younger than me, in my hometown. He one day just barged into me and asked, "Sir, what happens if you impose entertainment tax? How do you say profession tax does not apply?" I said, "Go sit and study. Then you will learn where the taxing law really has to be balanced in accordance with an activity." Taking a leaf again from what Mr. Thomas George had mentioned, because this morning I was going through some of the, I don't know whether many of you are aware of Professor Venkat Rao, Dr. Venkat Rao, who had been the Vice Chancellor of National Law School, Bangalore. He used to put thought for the day every day in the university board, National Law School board. And all those were compiled, and I think books and small books have come, in which he says the same thing. You collect all your idea, you collect all your information, and ultimately don't throw it out from your mouth unless it becomes absolutely necessary and unless it is in the language which is receivable by the person to whom it is addressed. This is a core theory even in court craft. And I have wondered for myself as how this word craft came along with the court. Is it a particular technology of crafting it? Or are you trying to, is it a behavioral pattern that you are trying to develop for yourself in the courts? Whether it is through the medium of the Right to Information Act or through your own search in the international domain or in the internet domain, you harvest information. Unless this information is used for the transformation of the individual, the transformation of the society doesn't happen. Please bear this in mind. And we had often said, even today, the opening remark was about that poor thing called COVID.
I had a friend, a blue coat, a friend
We request the court master to mute the speaker.
See, this COVID, according to me, let us not denounce COVID to that extent. COVID brought a lot of transformation in the society, in the nation, in the international domain. Why are we here in a VC today? Because of COVID. See, Calcutta had two issues when I came there. One was the courts were being closed. The High Court also used to have all these galatas of satyagraha or whatever, lockdown, pen down, thumbs down, the strikes, no lawyer coming. That was the situation when I took over Calcutta. Maybe I would have been a tool to be used for cleansing operations as well. Sometimes you need a lot of people to do many things. So when I came there, the first obvious thing which I had to take was a take bar into confidence. And with great respect, hats off to the people there, hats off to the barristers, hats off to the great lawyers there. Not a single working day was lost till I left that High Court after that. It is not my credit. It's not to my credit. It is to the credit of the people who could think alike and come alike and do the work. But then this great gentleman or gentlewoman called COVID came. So the COVID changed the entire scenario, and the Chief Justice's bench got a new name. It was called the COVID bench, because it was the Chief Justice who used to direct the Chief Justice bench, which used to say as to how COVID dead bodies have to be handled, how the COVID dead body has to be shown to the near relative, how the mobile phone has to be given to a COVID patient in the hospital. See what all the evolution of jurisprudence at the hands of the judges through intervening medical inputs from the people working in that field. And today what we have, the post-COVID scenario where, I don't know, I have not seen the papers, but I found one of the reports in one of the reliable law journals, online, that the Honorable Supreme Court has said, why do you have a different benches for a High Court in different areas when you have a connectivity system like online? You have online filings. You have Radhakrishnan sits in Kochi and addresses Delhi. Therefore, why are you wanting to have different benches? Like, I think there is a galata going on as to whether the Orissa High Court should have 2 benches, 3 benches. fortunately or unfortunately, I belong to the Trivandrum bar. And the Trivandrum bench was a huge issue for which they kept quiet because I was the judge in charge to control that problem. But now what is there? I find even in the high courts, I find so many youngsters get connected and get their work done. Why I say this is, please ensure that you use all these opportunities of moot court competitions, including competitions which you are participating now, to grow in different folds, different fields. One is internal growth of the individual is an evolution. Internal growth of an individual is an evolution within yours. Why I say that is, there is only one element on earth where no constitution can create any abridgment. No law can restrict, no law can control. That is the freedom of thought of the individual. Freedom of expression, yes, control. Freedom of movement, control. Freedom of activity, control. Power to tax, impose. But nothing can be done on the freedom of thought. I used to sometimes ask some of the law students, how do you think in the cellular jails in Andamans? If you go and see that, I've seen it personally, those small things, how did these people sit there and do many things? They think. Now, before I close down, I want to indicate one small issue, which is a negative input, not a negative list in the duty taxation levy. But then one negative thing that happens normally nowadays is, particularly the youngsters have a tendency, because there are so many people who sometimes assist me also. I used to call it a download, cut, paste syndrome. Download, cut, copy, paste syndrome. It is a purely mechanical, you can even do it through an artificial intelligence modality. You don't require the national computerization system to operate. AI can assist you. But then the whole problem is, it doesn't go through the mother computer where it has to really go, that is within yourself. Whatever information you collect, even for this mood, think over it. It is your own intelligent transformation, which really brings the transformation of your thought process, new ideas, new modalities of presentation, and ultimately learn to communicate. Communication skill is one thing, particularly oral communication, verbal communication in courts, is sometimes seen to be on the decline because of this too much of computer-aided presentations. Because once the screens are on, the vocabulary comes down. But don't bother about it. We are now talking about a global scenario where oral and verbal communication doesn't really matter. You need to communicate through the other modes. Therefore, your modalities of communication should also become multifarious and qualitatively improve. Please ensure that these things do happen within you, through you, and for the better future of not only this nation, but for the entire world, for the not merely the humanity. I'm talking about the universe as a cosmic wholeness. You talk about environment law, but you don't think about anything other than humans. You only say, why don't you kill a rabbit? But you don't say, how do you let the rabbit live the way it wants? I'm really happy that I've been asked to come here to participate. And there's an opportunity where one problem is that I am now unable to see all the youngsters before me in one go. That really happens here. Anyway, all the best. Best wishes for the program. And nice that you, Mr. Thomas George and Manav, you are organizing such sort of things every year. I think these sort of institutionalized programs will form a great platform for motivation for the coming generations. Wishing you all the best, and thank you once again for inviting me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for such encouraging words. Now, I would like to introduce Mrs. Nirmala Thomas, ma'am. senior partner at Thomas George and Associates. She's the driving force behind the firm and has completed her bachelor's in science from St. Francis College for Women and master's from Osmania University. Later, she joined St. Francis College for women as a lecturer and held various positions as lecturer, associate professor, head of department, academic dean, and controller of examination under UGC. After 35 years of unwavering dedication, she retired from St. Francis College and started a complete new chapter of her life by joining the the field of law full time. She has completed her legal education from Osmania University and intended to use this training to cater the needs of the society by uplifting the downtrodden and the underprivileged. With that, I would like to call her forward to give a vote of thanks before commencing the much anticipated competition.
Namaste and very good morning to one and all. On behalf of Thomas George and Associates, myself, Mrs. Nirmala Thomas, at the onset, wish to take this opportunity to thank profusely retired Honorable Justice Shri Thotatil B. Rajakrishnan ji for having accepted to grace our third national virtual moot court competition as a chief guest of the inaugural ceremony. Thank you, sir, for the intelligent message that you have given to all of us. I would also wish to thank immensely the judges of the prelims rounds of our third national virtual moot court competition. The following are the judges: Mr. Meet Thakur, Ms. Avantika, Mr. Pravjot Singh, Mr. Ayush Srivastava, Mr. Sailesh Chauhan, Mr. Vaibhav Ora, Ms. Pranita, Ms. Shruti, Mr. Rohan Tyagi, Mr. Aman Datta, Mr. Sarvesh Shahi, Mr. Nishant, Ms. Divya, Mr. Jay Kakani, Ms. Varsha Raman, Ms. Simran Singh, Mr. Sahil Sood, and Ms. Ravali Konduri. We also thank the judges of the quarterfinals to be conducted in the later session of the day. Mr. Chetan Priyadarshi, Mr. Manish Sharma, Ms. Mrudulika Concepta, Mr. Manav Jessel Thomas, Ms. Siri, Mr. Amir, Mr. Karthik Ramana, Ms. Sharanya. Also thank the judges of the semi-finals and the finals to be conducted tomorrow. We have two sitting judges of High Court for State of Telangana, Honorable Justice Mrs. Suryapalli Nanda Garu and Honorable Justice Sri Mumineni Sudhir Kumar Garu. I also have to immensely thank all our court masters, Shweta Surender, Ria, Dhanvi, Shweta Singh, Prarthana, Rohit Soni, Aditya, Yogita, Udyanshu, and Jennifer. And last but not the least, I have to thank all those who have helped us in conducting this virtual moot court competition, and all the participants. I wish them all the best. Thank you, one and all. Namaste.
Thank you, ma'am. With that, I would like to conclude the inaugural of a third national virtual moot court competition. Happy mooting to all the participants.
We request all the participants to join the link of the prelims. Sir, we are delighted to have you. Thank you so much once again, sir, for accepting my invitation at such a short notice and joining us from Kochi despite your hectic schedule. Once again, I thank you, sir. I request all the team speakers and court masters, you all can exit from this meeting and click the link of the prelims. We shall shortly commence. All the best to all the teams. We will see you all in that round.